Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. Today we are going to talk about SNAP benefits again because there's been some more things that have come out. So over the weekend, two judges let the Trump administration know that they could not legally stop paying the SNAP benefits to the recipients, and Donald Trump responded by saying that he would be honored to pay into the food stamps. It's using some emergency funds that are set aside and that are there for the federal government for such an occasion. Trump did say that he wanted to have some guidelines to follow, and once he was given those, he would be honored to distribute funds for SNAP. And currently it is November 2nd, so we are 2 days into November with nobody receiving SNAP benefits. To the best of my knowledge, the states that are providing funding on their own, I saw for Virginia that it wasn't going to be coming out the first. There's like a pay schedule that's a little bit different. And so if you are in one of the 5 states that are going to be giving out money to SNAP recipients, you're going to want to look on your state's page to see. I also read that the federal government has already told the states, the 5 states that are paying on their own, that they will not be reimbursed for any money that they put towards SNAP recipients in their state. And as far as SNAP goes, the amount of money that is in there will only cover 1 month of SNAP. And the recipients are not going to receive their full amount. Now again, guys, do your own research, but based off what I have read and the research that I have done, it said that a SNAP recipient can expect to receive about 60% of what they usually receive. And this is only going to solve the part of the issue for a small amount of time. And so we're going to have to see how this all plays out. But the deadline for the judge gave the Trump administration till noon on Monday the 3rd to respond to the ruling. And again, that was 2 judges that said that it's unlawful to withhold SNAP benefits. And this is the first time in our history that since we've had SNAP, or before it was called food stamps, this is the first time that this has ever been withheld from people. And we've had other government shutdowns, we've had recessions, we've had other economic downturns, and this is the first time in history that this has happened. And I think that's why people are so freaked out, not just recipients of food stamps, and sorry guys, not food stamps, it's SNAP. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's SNAP. But I'm calling it food stamps from the past because some people don't know that. Anyway, sorry. No disrespect. Even if you are not a SNAP recipient, it still is a little bit alarming because it's like, okay, what's going on here? And when something that's never happened before happens, it can be jarring because it's like, well, what's going to happen next? And they said that this would never happen, or we thought this never could happen. And, and it kind of gets everybody worrying, and, it is big news. And I also want to remind you guys that I have seen some horrible comments from people online, horrible videos, horrible remarks about SNAP recipients and blah, blah, blah. And we've already talked about this, and if you, if you are knowledgeable, then you know that there is no SNAP type. It's not a certain type of person. Your neighbor is probably on SNAP. Your waitress is probably on SNAP. Your child's teacher is probably on SNAP. You know what I mean? Like, it's all amongst us. It's all around us. And there are people that are on government assistance for a really long time, and there are people that are just going through a hard time in a particular time in their life, and are on SNAP. I can tell you from my personal experience when I was in my early 20s, and I've shared this before, I'm sure, I made about $1,200 a month, and I applied for SNAP benefits, and I was denied. They said that I made too much money, but I was single and I had no children, so they said that I didn't qualify. But I did apply because I was like, well, what's the worst they're going to do is deny me. And then when I was a child, there was a time when my mother was a single mom, and we were on government assistance for housing and for food and for health insurance. And I am not embarrassed of that. My mother did what she had to do, and they're not on assistance, and they haven't been in a long time. I know lots of people that have been at some point in their life, and there is no type. And at the end of the day, these are Americans. They are following the protocol, and they are being approved. Are there people that abuse the system? Absolutely. There are people that abuse all of the different systems. You know what I mean? Like any law, any regulatory anything, there's always going to be people that are not following the rules. But going forward, I want you guys to keep something in mind. If you go and apply for a housing grant, utility assistance, SNAP, WIC, whatever it is, and you see what the criteria is, you meet the criteria, you turn in all proper documentation. And I've also been told that like for SNAP and WIC, you do like an interview type thing where you talk to somebody at the Social Security building or what have you. So if I go and I meet all the requirements and I give all the paperwork and I talk to somebody who that's their job to see if I qualify, and I get the benefit, am I really taking advantage? I'm meeting the criteria. Now, I know that that's going to spice some people up, but I just want you to keep that in mind. You cannot just walk into Social Security and say, yeah, give me $50 or $500 or whatever it is. There is a process. So if there is fraud, which there is, because there's fraud in every aspect of our life, not everybody, but there are people that are, not doing what they're supposed to do, not following the criteria. They're not necessarily in need, but if they meet the criteria laid out by the federal government, well, then we have to change what the requirements are. So I think you guys are getting mad at the wrong thing. And either way, that's not a problem for today. A problem is most people, so 99% of people that are on SNAP are in need and are not taking advantage of the system, and it's messed up right now. And there are people that are hungry, there are people that are afraid of being hungry, there are people that are concerned, and it's something that we need to keep in mind. Now, I did say I've seen some horrible videos and horrible comments, but I've also seen great kindness, great generosity from people. And those of you that are, giving your time, money, energy, prayers, positive vibes, calling out people that are saying the wrong thing, I applaud each and every one of you, because that is the true American spirit, helping each other in people's times of need. Now, as I said in another video, just because SNAP gets fixed or is partially fixed, that doesn't solve the problem of that we are in a shutdown, and there is many people that are out of work, or people that there are federal employees that still have to go to work without compensation, and there are people being evicted, there are people that cannot pay their bills, and there are people that even once the SNAP gets fixed, partially fixed, whatever, if they're not on SNAP, they're still in trouble of not getting enough food because they're not being paid. And so the food pantries and food banks are going to continue to be overrun. And I have a prediction, even if the government shutdown ends tomorrow, God willing, but we'll see, this is going to be screwed up for quite a while, because it's going to take people a while to kind of catch back up and catch their breath. So if anything else, guys, just spread kindness. And, you know, as I said, do your own research. I would encourage you guys to read up on who the hungry really are in America. Okay, so if you guys would do that for me, I would appreciate it. And if not, at least know that things aren't always what they seem, and there is misuse of all these programs, but it's a very, very small percent of people. It really is. Okay, guys, so I hope that you got something out of this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and until next time, guys, bye.